Good evening, future construction moguls. Welcome to the most exciting lecture you'll have today. And yes, I'm aware that's a low bar when you're competing with concrete mix ratios and soil compaction. Tonight, we're diving into the mathematics of money, fundamentals of project evaluation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Math? Money? This sounds like a finance major's nightmare crossed with an Excel spreadsheet fever dream. But here's the truth. This is the difference between building a career and building, well, someone else's career while you wonder where your profits went. By the end of this lecture, you won't just understand numbers, you'll speak their language. You'll know why some projects that look profitable are actually financial black holes, and why time truly is money. So, grab your calculators, your coffee, and let's turn you into financial ninjas of the construction world. All right, let's get philosophical for a moment. In construction finance, we don't just build stuff. Any toddler with Legos can do that. We allocate scarce capital to create value. Fancy words, right? Let me translate. You're deciding where to throw your money so it makes more money. We've got 3 North Star questions that guide every decision. First, feasibility. Is this project even worthwhile? If your net present value is negative, congratulations, you've just built an expensive hobby. We're looking for NPV greater than 0 and an internal rate of return that beats your hurdle rate. Second, optimization. You've got 5 projects, all profitable. Which one do you pick? The one that maximizes NPV per unit of capital. Think of it like dating. You don't just want someone who's nice. You want the best fit for your time and energy. Third, strategic ordering. How do they rank? Use your profitability index or risk-adjusted returns. It's like creating a fantasy draft for projects. Who's your first-round pick? Master these 3, and you'll never waste $1 on the wrong ditch again. Okay, pop quiz time. Don't worry, this won't be graded. Unless you get it wrong, then I'll remember your name forever. You've got 2 housing projects on the table. Project A, 8 months, costs $12,000 per month, total cost $96,000, sells for $160,000. Nominal profit? A beautiful $64,000. Project B, 16 months, same monthly cost of $12,000. Total cost $192,000. Sells for $300,000. Nominal profit? A stunning $108,000. Show of hands, who picks Project B? Yeah, I see you. That $108,000 looks sexy, doesn't it? It's almost double the profit. But here's the trap. And it catches even experienced developers. Project B ties up your capital for twice as long. That's 16 months of your money sitting there, doing a really expensive version of nothing. Here's the thing about money. It's impatient. Money wants to work. While Project B is hogging your capital for 16 months, Project A could finish in 8, free up your cash, and let you start another project. Maybe even 2 more projects. Suddenly, that $64,000 could turn into $128,000, while Project B is still pouring foundations. This, my friends, is why we don't just count profit. We measure the impact of time on value. And that's where things get interesting. Welcome to the most important concept in finance. The rockstar principle that makes Wall Street run and construction companies thrive. The time value of money. Here's the simple version. $1 in your hand today is worth more than $1 promised to you next year. Why? 3 words. Opportunity cost, baby. That dollar today can earn interest. It can be invested. It can be multiplied. It can make baby dollars. Think of it like this. Would you rather have a pizza right now when you're starving, or the promise of a pizza next Tuesday? Same pizza, different value based on timing. Interest is the cost of using money over time. It's the price tag on patience, the rental fee for capital. It's literally the difference between what you start with, your principal, and what you end up with in the future. This simple concept is the engine of everything we're going to discuss tonight. Miss this, and finance is just random numbers. Get this, and suddenly every project becomes a strategic chess move. So let's make sure this sinks in, because we're building on this foundation. All right, it's time to meet the Fab Four, the variables that show up in every finance formula you'll ever encounter. Think of these as the DNA of financial decision-making. Memorize these, tattoo them on your brain, make them your phone lock screen. I don't care how you do it, but know these. First, P, present value. That's your time zero amount, the starting line. What you have right now. It's the money in your pocket today. Second, F, future value. That's what your money becomes at some point down the road at period N. It's the grown-up version of P after time and interest work their magic. Third, I, the interest rate. This is your growth percentage per period. It's the multiplier, the engine of growth. The reason why waiting matters. Small I, huge impact. Fourth, N, number of periods. That's duration, the how long question. It could be months, years, quarters, whatever your time frame is. Here's a quick example. You pay $2.40 interest on a $20 principal. What's your interest rate? Divide 2.40 by 20, and boom, 12%. See? Math that actually means something. These 4 variables are your new best friends. Treat them right, and they'll never let you down. Now we're getting to the fork in the road. 2 different ways money grows, and trust me, one of them is way more exciting than the other. First path, simple interest. This is the boring, predictable cousin who never leaves their hometown. Simple interest calculates returns only on your original principal. The formula is F equals P times 1 plus N times I. Straightforward, but painfully slow. Your money grows in a straight line, no acceleration, no compounding magic. Second path, compound interest. This is the overachiever who moves to the city and starts 3 businesses. Compound interest calculates returns on your principal plus all the accumulated interest from previous periods. Interest earning more interest. It's recursive, it's exponential, and it's the engine of modern finance. The formula? F equals P times 1 plus I to the power of N. That little exponent? That's where the magic happens. And if you want to work backwards, find your present value from a future amount, you just flip it. P equals F divided by 1 plus I to the n. This is why Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and why you should always ask if your investment compounds. Always. Let's see compound interest in action with a simple scenario. $100, 10% interest, 5 years. Place your bets. Simple interest gives you 100 times 1 plus 5 times 0.1, which equals $150. Not bad. You made $50 doing absolutely nothing. That's a decent return on a lazy afternoon. Compound interest gives you 100 times 1.1 to the fifth power equals $161.05. Wait, what? That's 11 extra dollars just for letting your interest pile up on itself. That's a 7% greater return, and we're only talking 5 years at a modest rate. Imagine what happens over 20 years, or 30, or with real construction project capital in the hundreds of thousands. This is the difference between okay and wealthy. This is why your grandparents' pension funds worked, why real estate investors get rich slowly, and why you need to understand compounding before you touch project finance. Compound interest doesn't just grow, it accelerates. And that acceleration is your competitive advantage in the construction business. Okay, buckle up, because we're about to enter the land where banks try to confuse you with fancy acronyms. Don't worry, I'm here to translate the nonsense. You've got APR, annual percentage rate. That's the nominal rate, the one lenders love to advertise because it looks nice and tidy. Hey, borrow at just 12%, they say with a smile. Then you've got APY, annual percentage yield. That's the effective rate, the one that tells you what you actually earn or pay after accounting for intra-year compounding. And spoiler alert, APY is always higher than APR when you're borrowing, which is exactly why banks hide it in the fine print. Here's the formula. APY equals 1 plus APR divided by C to the power of C minus 1. That C is the number of compounding periods per year, monthly, quarterly, daily, whatever. Why does this matter? Because a 12% APR compounded monthly is not the same as 12% simple annual interest. It's actually 12.68% effective. That extra 0.68% doesn't sound like much until you're financing a $2 million project. Then it's $13,000. So when someone quotes you a rate, always ask, is that nominal or effective? Are we compounding? How often? Don't let financial jargon rob you blind. Let's drive this home with real numbers. You've got $2,000 to invest at a 12% nominal rate for 3 years. Seems simple, right? Well, watch how frequency changes everything. Semi-annual compounding, that's twice a year, gets you $2,837 with an effective rate of 12.36%. Nice. Quarterly compounding, 4 times a year, bumps you to $2,851.60 with an effective rate of 12.55%. Even better. Monthly compounding, 12 times a year, lands you at $2,861.54 effective rate of 12.68%. The winner? Notice the pattern? The more frequently interest compounds, the more you earn. It's like getting paid in smaller, more frequent installments, and each installment starts earning its own interest faster. For construction financing, this means that how often your interest accrues can significantly impact your project costs. A loan that compounds monthly will cost you more than one that compounds annually at the same nominal rate. So when you're negotiating financing terms, frequency matters, sometimes as much as the rate itself. All right, creative thinkers, this is where we stop being accountants and start being architects of time. Let me introduce you to the cash flow diagram, your new best friend in project evaluation. Think of this as a timeline, a horizontal axis representing periods, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Arrows pointing down represent cash outflows, money leaving your pocket, costs, investments. That sinking feeling when you write a check. Arrows pointing up represent cash inflows, revenue, returns. That beautiful moment when money flows back to you. In our diagram, you'll see P at time 0 pointing down. That's your initial investment, your present value, your skin in the game. Then, way off in the future at period N, you see F pointing up. That's your future value, your payday, your reward for waiting. Why do we draw these? Because abstract numbers are boring. But a visual map of when money moves? That's powerful. It transforms a spreadsheet into a story. You can literally see the risk, the waiting period, the payoff. It's a pedagogical bridge from confusion to clarity. From now on, every project evaluation starts with a cash flow diagram. Draw it, study it, fall in love with it. Now let's talk about the real world, where money doesn't just move once, but moves repeatedly in predictable patterns. Welcome to the Uniform Series, designated by the letter A. In construction, we deal with recurring payments all the time. Monthly loan payments, equipment lease installments, regular payroll, contractor draws. These aren't one-time transactions. They're a series of identical payments happening at regular intervals. Imagine your cash flow diagram again, but instead of one big arrow up or down, you've got a whole row of identical arrows, same size, same direction, perfectly spaced like soldiers in formation. That's your Uniform Series A. You've still got P at the beginning, still got your interest rate, I, still got N periods. But now you're also tracking A, the consistent payment amount that shows up every single period. Think mortgages, think equipment financing, think subscription costs. This is the rhythm of construction finance, the heartbeat of cash management. Master this, and you'll understand how to evaluate long-term financing deals, lease agreements, and payment schedules. The Uniform Series is where theory meets practice, where formulas meet monthly budget meetings. All right, here's where math becomes your superpower. We've got formulas that collapse an entire timeline of payments into a single, comparable number. This is financial sorcery at its finest. First formula. Future value of a Uniform Series. F equals A times the quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1, all divided by I. What does this do? It takes all those regular payments, your A's, and tells you what they'll grow into by period N. It's like fast-forwarding through time to see your total accumulation. Second formula, present value of a uniform series. P equals A times the quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1 divided by I times 1 plus I to the n. This one works backwards. It takes all those future payments and collapses them into a single value, today. This is how you evaluate whether a series of payments is worth it. Why does this matter? Because when you're comparing projects, you can't just add up payments and call it a day. You need to account for when those payments happen. These formulas let you do that instantly. Memorize these. Write them on flashcards. Use them until they're muscle memory, because in the field, you won't have time to derive them from scratch. You'll need them at your fingertips. All right, we've learned how to calculate present value, future value, and everything in between. But here's the million-dollar question. What's the standard? What's the benchmark that separates good projects from bad ones? Ladies and gentlemen, meet MAR, the minimum attractive rate of return. MAR is your hurdle rate, your finish line, your "you must be this tall to ride" sign for project approval. It's the minimum interest rate a project must earn to be acceptable to your firm. If your project's return doesn't clear this bar, you reject it. No exceptions, no mercy. Look at the chart. You've got Project A down here in the rejection zone. Its return is below MAR. It might be profitable, but it's not profitable enough. Then you've got Project B up here in the acceptance zone, comfortably above MAR. This one's a go. How do you set MARR? It's usually based on your company's cost of capital, opportunity cost, and risk tolerance. If you can earn 10% safely in the stock market, why would you accept a construction project returning 8% with way more risk? You wouldn't. Your MARR would be at least 10%, probably higher to account for construction-specific risks. MARR is your quality filter. It ensures you're not just picking projects that make money. You're picking projects that make enough money to justify the risk, time, and capital investment. It's the difference between busy and profitable. We're in the home stretch. Let's create a step-by-step system you can use on every project for the rest of your career. Think of this as your pre-flight checklist. Miss a step, and the whole thing crashes. Step 1. Define the variables. Identify P, F, I, N, and A. What are we starting with? What are we ending with? What's the rate? How long? Are there recurring payments? Get crystal clear on these. Step 2. Determine the method. Are we using compound interest? Of course we are. It's the modern standard. But check the frequency. Is it annual, monthly, quarterly? Is this APR or APY? Don't let assumptions wreck your calculation. Step 3. Map the flow. Draw the cash flow diagram. Seriously, do it! Even if you think you can skip this, don't. The diagram reveals patterns, catches errors, and clarifies thinking. It's 5 minutes that saves you from $1,000 mistakes. Step 4. Collapse to present value. Use your formulas to bring all future values back to time zero. This creates apples-to-apples comparisons across projects with different timelines. Step 5. Apply MARR. Compare your result against the hurdle rate. Above, green light. Below, red light. Simple, decisive, done. This checklist is your professional discipline. Use it religiously. We're going to close with a quote that sums up everything we've covered tonight. The mathematics of money transforms the inherent uncertainty of the future into a structured framework for selection. Let that sink in for a second. Construction is messy. Markets shift, costs overrun, weather delays projects, subcontractors flake, permits get denied. There's 1,000 ways a project can go sideways. But here's the thing. While we can't eliminate uncertainty, we can structure our response to it. By mastering the time value of money, by understanding present value, future value, compounding, uniform series, and MAR, you gain the power to make informed decisions under uncertainty. You're no longer guessing which project is better. You're calculating it. You're not just spending capital. You're strategically allocating it to its highest and best use. This is what separates professional construction managers from amateurs. Amateurs chase shiny, nominal profits and wonder why they're always broke. Professionals use TVM principles to systematically evaluate, rank, and optimize their project portfolio. You now have the foundational toolkit to think like a financial strategist while building like an engineer. Use it wisely, use it often, and watch your career and your bank account compound over time.